What's the first thing you think of when you see this VTuber model? Cute, really short, adorable fluffy ears, right? The uneven socks, the tail, it's a great design. It's adorable. How could anyone have an issue with this design? My friend, you forget that Twitter exists and people have an issue with everything. For you see, this YouTuber is Kirana Yonome, and they get constant comments like this. Kill yourself. Fucking child sexualizer, pedo, baiter, your avatar literally looks 4 or 5 at the most, and here you are labeling yourself as a sex therapist. You should be ashamed. If you want so badly to had the attention you want. Oh fuck, I'm having a stroke reading this comment. You get the idea. And here's some more. You can't just make your character have dwarfism, height, childlike features and pretend you're just saying you look like a child for no reason. You get the idea. VTubers who have like short, cute models, everyone just calls pedo bait, and it's so old. I'm so sick of this. Honestly, a VTuber avatar allows you to represent yourself however the fuck you want. And the person behind the avatar is almost always a grown-ass adult, and when they're not, they're like 16 or 17, you know what I'm saying? And they can represent themselves however the fuck they want. And if you don't like it, there's this beautiful tool. Twitter has this cool feature, have you ever heard of it? If you don't like Kirana's model, if you think, if this is uncomfy for you, you don't like her content, you don't like her design, oh my god, mute and block, right there. What a wild feature, oh my god. Who would have ever thought that there was a feature to make it so that you don't see content that you don't like? Oh my god, head explosions all over Twitter. What? You don't have to tell people to kill themselves if you don't like them. You can just block them. What? Oh my god, heads exploding. To be fair, this drama doesn't come from nowhere. Kirana does have a relatively underdeveloped model, and she posts lewd things sometimes, so I understand why people don't like it. And when people do things like that, which I don't like, again, mute, block their options. That's what I do when I see something I don't like. But Emi seems to feel the need to repost it, and she has complained about Kirana many times. And what's funny is that when you criticize someone else on the internet, guess what? You become subject to criticism on the internet yourself. And oh boy, they have linked EmiOK to her previous accounts, and yeah, yikes. Yeah, this person is out here criticizing people on the internet. Okay, sure. If you want to look into the EmiOK drama, there's a video on it that I will link in the description that goes into way more detail than I'm going to here. Oh my god. Pro tip, guys, pro tip. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, and if you have a glass jaw, you should watch your mouth.
You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house, and if you got a glass jaw, you should watch your mouth.
The next thing that I wanted to talk about is Twitch adding artist credit for emotes. And while this is an awesome step in the correct direction, it seems that they have limited this artist credit to 5, which not everyone is happy with. Shy Lily, for example, won't be giving any artist badges because while it's, again, a very cool addition, it's capped at 5, which means if you have multiple artists, if you have more than 5, you then have to pick favorites. I don't know why Twitch is so limiting with emotes. There's so many more emotes that people want to use, and we should be able to credit every single one of them. There's so many things that Twitch does that are good, but could just be a little bit better. And it's not just Shy Lily who thinks this. If you go to the post, legitimately the very first comment is the exact same point. Why only 5? It's frustrating to be limited like this. Why do we have to pick favorites? Kureiji Ollie released a tweet saying that members-only live streams shouldn't be spread around. That defeats the whole purpose of them being members only. She is a content creator, and she doesn't want her paid work to go out unpaid, and I think she has the right to make that distinction. I think she has the right to have her content spread however she likes, since she is the content creator. Most people are pretty on board with not spreading her membership-only content outside of those members-only live streams. But not everyone is on board. Let's take a look at a couple of tweets. This person responded to her saying not to spread her members-only content to non-members, said, "Stop me," and posted an image of them seeding a torrent, many torrents, of presumably her live streams or clips from it. Just straight up confessing to doing the very thing that the content creator asked you not to do. That's very sad. But it doesn't end with this guy. We've also got this guy just straight up saying no, followed by the Soviet anthem, which, you know, 9 times out of 10, I think this sort of thing is hilarious, but not in this context. You're just being a dick. This one coming way out of left field, saying that Kureiji Ollie is exploiting the mentally vulnerable for money. What? Apparently having a members-only live stream is exploiting the mentally ill. Please tell me how that makes any sense at all. I'm a member of a couple of YouTube channels. I'm a subscriber on a couple of Twitch channels, and I can assure you that I didn't do so because I was mentally vulnerable. I did so to support the creator. What is this take? And then this person saying, yes, so only the members can enjoy content while your true fan who couldn't afford membership cannot see it. Selfish bitch. And I gotta say, my guy, membership is $5. I don't know, man. If you can't afford $5 a month, I feel like you have bigger problems. And again, I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. She's the content creator. She gets to decide how her content gets disseminated. Look, I understand that content creators in general, whether they be big or small, people don't really respect their content. And even myself, I have violated copyright, but I've always made an effort to make it transformative, to make it a reaction, and I've never spread something that wasn't meant to be spread. When I'm reacting to an anime or to a tokusatsu show, I always try to make it transformative. I'm trying to make new content out of that content. And I understand that, you know, with someone with 1 million subscribers, it's hard to care, but it's really just a respect thing. So that's my 2 cents on that. Another thing I briefly wanted to mention is just to know that if you're an aspiring VTuber, always be wary of graphic artists, because if they try to contact you and you didn't contact them, almost always a bot trying to sell you stolen art. And even if you go to a artist profile and they have really good art for affordable prices, it doesn't hurt to reverse image search that art. If you search for an image that a graphic artist is saying they made, and you can see this elsewhere, look at where elsewhere it's been found, because elsewhere might be somebody else's character model. Be careful with who you're hiring. It probably doesn't hurt to do just a little bit of research. Another issue that has come up recently when it comes to streaming in general is this trend of sponsored gambling stream, where a sponsor will give a streamer some money so that they can then go gamble on their website and live stream the process. Now, obviously, gambling content is perfectly legal, and people don't seem to have an issue with poker being televised on TV, but people are arguing that gambling on Twitch is a little bit different because this is a platform where, you know, impressionable young people go. They might see the rush and the thrill of gambling, and people who would not previously gamble might start gambling. Now, personally, I hate gambling. I despise it. I've seen people's lives ruined by gambling, so I can't speak on this issue from an objective standpoint. I hate gambling in all of its forms, and I will always support something that will reduce its exposure. So rather than going on a very preachy monologue about why gambling is bad, I'm just gonna, you know, tell you what the situation is and tell you that I don't like it. But for the rest of this segment, I'm just going to show clips of other content creators talking about the gambling issue and let you make your own decision, because if I comment about this any further, it's just going to get really preachy and heavy-handed and annoying, and that's not what I want.
People are selectively, I love Gamba, I'm just gonna Gamba. End of story.
Don't like it, get mad at the system. You can get mad at the people all you want, but just know that you're shouting into a void.
It should be the platform. The platform is the one that should dictate what is okay and not okay, rather than hoping that thousands and thousands of people will all abide by loose guidelines that we all think people should abide by. The people who know in their head that it is rigged, that this is mathematically meant to make me lose, but do not have the self-control to not gamble. And any slight trigger will send them over the edge. And you can say, well, then just don't watch the content. But it's f***ing hard. It's f***ing hard as a gambling addict. So I have a new rule, a new guideline that I think would solve gambling online and gambling on Twitch. No sponsored gambling streams. It's a simple rule.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is relatively minor. It's not part of a big drama, but just a hot take that I really liked, and I wanted to spread it here because I thought it was interesting and I wanted to talk about it. So we all like VTuber clippers, right? People who clip streams, right? Like, it's the only reason I'm able to stay on top of all the VTubers that I enjoy is people like SodaFunk and Carl George and Polritz and all these people who take hours and hours of footage, take the best moments and put them up on YouTube. Love those guys. However, there is a trend where clippers will take something that the streamer specifically says they don't want them to clip and then spread it anyway. Now, a lot of the times this is just a joke. It's just a slip of the tongue or a stream fail or whatever. But there's a lot of times where they're like putting something up on stream that feels like maybe that's not something the streamer actually wanted you to highlight. That's not something the content creator would want to have highlighted about themselves and spread around and go viral. This is especially true if the stream was a members only live stream. I think that's the best example of a reason why a streamer might not want something to be spread around. But the thing is, even though some of the clips that we see floating around feel a little uncomfy, there really isn't too much that we can really do about it because they're kind of in the same gray zone that like paparazzi are in. It is in the best interest of a clipper to find the absolute worst moments and sort of expose those moments and put them on blast. And a lot of clippers will also actively expose VTubers they don't like, stirring up drama, all for views. Obviously not all of them do that. This isn't a blanket statement about all clippers, and it's hard to think of a specific example, but you know what I'm talking about because we've all seen those examples of where like a clip being taken out of context and then goes viral. It almost conjures drama out of nowhere because it's all out of context. Like, you could easily take Gura and Kiara and clip their interactions in such a way to make it look like they're not friends and that they have bad blood between each other. You could easily take Iron Mouse and Connor and edit it together so it just looks like they're dating when they're not. This applies to any content creator. Intentionally editing in the worst moments or manipulating the edit to make it look like they said something they didn't say or something is happening that isn't actually happening. It's very paparazzi. It's very yellow journalism. And if you have any examples of this that you want me to talk about specifically, because I'm totally drawing a blank right now, but I know that this stuff happens. I've witnessed it before. It's completely slipped my mind. But I just think that's one of the things about clippers that we don't talk about, and I'd love to talk about that subject more in the future. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that Crunchyroll, during the pandemic, switched to remote recording for their voice actors, which has been great. It's given a huge opportunity for people who live outside of Texas to participate in voice acting. We've debuted a bunch of brand new voice acting talent, and this is excellent. But now that the pandemic is waning and Crunchyroll is moving back towards in-person dubbing, that means that they're gonna lose half their cast of talent. And we're taking all these people who were able to debut and show their work and their value and their worth to voice acting, contributing to the industry directly and substantially. We're just cutting those people out just based on where they live. And a lot of people don't want to move to Texas because Texas actually has fairly pro-corporate laws and anti-union laws, which makes it more profitable for Crunchyroll to only use voice actors that live in Texas. It's pretty complicated, but basically they forfeit all of the perks that they get with SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Union. And a lot of people are against this move back to in-person recording because not only are we losing half of these voice actors, we're also losing a lot of benefits for those voice actors that they would get for being in a union. And my opinion is being echoed by a lot of other people on Twitter. Like, for example, this person saying exactly how I feel. All these people that finally got the opportunity to start being voice actors, talented people who got the opportunity to shine in anime for the first time with remote recording, were just throwing them away. This is an objectively bad thing. I, for one, am sick of hearing the same 5 to 10 people in every single fucking anime. I want fresh talent in dubs. But that's all I have to say about that particular matter, but I still really wanted to bring it up. If you like this style of video where I cover multiple topics in one video, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, because if this video gets a ton of traction, then I'll go ahead and make more of it. If it flops, then I probably won't do it very often in the future, because it is just a lot more effort. It takes a lot more time to edit multiple stories together than just one continuous stream of thought. So just be sure to let me know if this is the type of content you want to see. But aside from that's all I had to say. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys!